that these two or three things we'll have to keep in mind. These are stressful times, stressful because of the uncertainty, I would say, and because of the unknown conditions. And it's very important that all of us together make this time or the education process which we are imparting to the students as less stressful as possible. I mean, we have to consciously think about it. How do we do that? Ensure that the mental and the physical well-being of students is taken care of, and the fact that the environment, the way we are teaching, the way we are interacting is as less stressful as possible. And I think another issue which would come up is there are children with special needs. There will be a lot of children, and I think any plan we make at the school level and all, a lot of them will not be able to access digital content. We need to keep them in consideration and have special programs for children, such children. Besides the fact, many of the schools there they may have differential access. Students may have differential access to digital means. So we need to have strategies how to lead. We've already asked all these schools to map out, how many children have access to equipment, digital devices, and then schools will have to work out strategy accordingly. So broadly, I think I'll just recapitulate. I think it's a great opportunity for me to be able to address all of you. So I wish it could have been at normal times. Having said that, I think we should take it as a challenge and an opportunity, and in a positive manner. And this positiveness has to spread. It has to spread in schools. It has to spread to children. It has to spread in our ecosystem. That is the only way that we'll be able to address the challenges which we are facing, and ensure that the students who are in a school come out of the schools as able and competent youth who are able to achieve their potential and contribute to the fullest to the society. And with that, since we have a discussion on alternative academic calendar, I think I'll leave the rest of the discussions for that. And in the end, we'll come back again to take your suggestions and questions if any. Thank you so much, and I'd request Dr. Taj to continue.
Thank you, sir. I think sir has highlighted almost all the points. Thank you once again. And now I would like to request Dr. Senapati, Director NCERT, Government Vice Personality, with whom we are working for last 5 years closely with CBSE and NCERT. A new dynamism has been evolved under such leadership, and phenomenal activities NCERT is carrying out, be it for MHRD or be it for different SCRTs in the country. And NISTA training has taken a new height altogether to cover 42 lakh teachers training in last 1 year. And I believe sir has taken lot of things under his leadership. So now I would like to request you to give a special address on alternative academic calendar, and of course by keeping in mind how we can sustain the education and true spirit in this pandemic period. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Khan. Respected Chairperson CBSE, Sri Manoj Ahuja ji, Secretary CBSE, Tripathi ji, Director Academic, and Dr. Joseph, all my colleagues from CBSE, distinguished participants, principals, teachers from all CBSE schools. I'm very happy to be a part of this webinar. This is a good opportunity, very good opportunity for me to share my experiences with you. I was listening to Chairperson CBSE. He has highlighted about 21st century learning skill. All the time we are discussing about the learning skill, because that is the key. We are not preparing our children for content mastery. We are preparing our children for competency mastery. They should have the basic competencies, basic skills or life skills, so that they can face any challenge, they can address any issue. Keeping in view this we develop learning outcomes. You might be knowing that we have developed learning outcomes from class 1 to class 8 and also again from class 9 to 10. And now we're working on learning outcomes for class 11 and 12. I think within 2-3 months we'll come out with a learning outcome for higher secondary school. All these we are doing just to shift your focus from content mastery to competency mastery. That is most important and vital, particularly in 21st century, because we want our children to develop their potentiality. They should be in a position to compete with the children of other countries, and they should get opportunity to develop all their potentiality, not only in academics but in other fields. That is our concern. But during this lockdown period, we received requests from ministry that we have to come out with some alternative ways, particularly this alternative academic calendar. We all know that our children are at home, schools are closed, and we are not in a position to communicate, and our children are not happy because they are at home. When they are in school, they are interacting with others, they are sharing their experiences, and normally they enjoy learning. But during this situation, how can we help our children to learn effectively? That is our concern. Keeping in view that we develop this learning out, the alternative academic calendar. And in alternative academic calendar, we find that we have taken into account all the areas because it is not content based. I would like to clarify from the beginning. It is not content based. It is based on the learning outcomes, what we have defined from class 1 to class 10, and also we have developed learning outcomes for 11 and 12. And since it is in the process, in higher secondary learning outcomes, the alternative academic calendar, we have also highlighted this learning outcome. So first point is learning outcome. The best is learning outcome. Keeping in view the learning outcome, we have given reference to different resources, including textbooks. We all know all the states are not using NCERT textbooks. Some states are having their own textbook, but of course in CBSE schools we are using NCERT textbooks. To make this calendar available to all the children and to be useful, to make it more useful, we have mentioned that along with our textbook, any textbook can be used because our focus is not content, focus is on learning outcomes. Along with that, we have given the link to different resources available in different portals. I think you all know we have ePathshala, where all our textbooks are available. Along with textbooks, different audio, video material available in ePathshala. And another web portal we have that you might be knowing, that NROER, National Repository for Open Education Resources. And there also we have around 17,000 e-content. And now we have come out with the Diksha, where materials are available in different regional languages. And what we have done, we have given links to all the materials that we're keeping in view the learning outcome. We have given link to the resources so that our children can easily download the material, easily they will have access to the material, so there will be no problem and they can get the material. Then, keeping in view all this, what we have done, we have suggested some activities. These activities are exemplar activities. Why we have suggested these exemplar activities? Because we expect these activities should be conducted by the parents under the guidance of teacher. And we have developed a guideline for this alternative academic calendar. We all know we cannot visit our students and they cannot also come to us. They are at the home. So how effectively we can use this time with the help of parents. They can conduct different activities and teacher can guide them. Here also we have taken into account different categories of learners. We all know some students are having smartphone, internet facility. Some children are not having smartphone. They are having some simple mobile, basic mobile phone. And some students are not having anything also. So what we have done, those who are having all the facilities, teacher can contact them through online mode or using different social media or directly they can also talk. And they share, guide the parents and they can ask the parents, they can request the parents to create very good learning situation inside the home using different available resources. Similarly, the parents, the students who are not having smartphone, but the parents are having simple mobile, our teachers can guide them through this code and also they can send SMS so that we can reach all the students. But the children who are not having anything, for them also we have thought of something. What we are doing, we are trying to transact this through live session that you all know that we have one channel in the Swayam Prava, Kishore Manch. And what we are doing, we every day we are having some live interaction from 9 to 5 for primary, upper primary, secondary and higher secondary. Every day that is going on. And after that, we have one session 5 to 5:30 on mental health. Because if you see this calendar, we have covered all the stages, primary, upper primary, secondary and senior secondary. And we have also go beyond textbook. We have go beyond the academic subjects. We have taken care of their mental health. We have taken care of their physical health. And we have tried our best to make learning more meaningful, more joyful by integrating art and music. And we call it art integrated learning. So in this calendar, that is why you will find this calendar is very comprehensive in nature. That means all the subjects are there, but our focus is not on subject, not on content, our focus is on learning outcome. To achieve a particular learning outcome, the minimum content what we need, that we should use. Because from the beginning I have clarified, our intention is not to have content mastery. Our intention is to have competency mastery. If our children can attend these learning outcomes, then they can attend all the competencies and skills, and our purpose will be served. So, keeping in view that what we have done, we have taken care of other areas. If our children are mentally healthy, then definitely they will be motivated to learn. That is why we want that they should be mentally healthy. They should talk to their parents. Parents should tell them stories. They should share their experiences. They should do something collaboratively, and they should also play some indoor games, and they should do some yoga and other physical activities so that they will be physically fit, mentally healthy, and to make this teaching learning more interesting and more attractive inside the home. What we can do, we can make use of art, music, other things, and we can ask our children to do some drawing. We can give them some projects so that they will be engaged. Ultimately, what we have learned from our experiences, if there is more social interaction, then there is better learning. If there is more collaboration, more sharing, more engagement, then there is better learning. So what do we want? We want our children to be engaged, and not by looking or not attending the online classes, but by conducting some activities. That is why I will come to that later. We have also developed some guideline on these online classes. So what exactly we want? We want that children should be autonomous learners. Because in this learning theory, you will find that our children should be very active. They should not be passive listeners. Because earlier pedagogy was suggesting that our children, do not know anything. Their mind is just like blank slate, and we have to provide all sort of information. That is why our curriculum was overloaded, and we are doing that. But now in modern theory, it is something different. Their mind is not blank slate. They have some experiences when they are coming to school or they are at home, but they have some experiences. And what we should do, we should try to create a learning situation which will match to their existing experiences, existing cognitive levels, so that they can integrate this new information into their cognitive set. That is why we want that they should explore, they should be engaged, they should share their experiences, and let them talk to their parents, them talk to their siblings, and if they have the mobile and other facilities, they can also share their experiences, their friends, their peer group. So that we want. So if there is more collaboration, then there is better learning. That has been proved, and that is the research finding. That is why what we have done, we have tried our best to keep our children engaged using the available resources. We know they cannot go out. What is available inside the home, they can make use of these materials and learn. Parents, now we have given more responsibility to the parents. But in our national curriculum framework also, what do we want? We want that there should be a link between what is happening inside the classroom and what is happening outside the classroom. Now slowly we are involving parents. Parents should be involved. They should take the responsibility. Every time we should not blame our teachers, and we should not say "See, all the time teachers are responsible." Parents are also equally responsible. So now we have given this responsibility to parents. Let parents guide their children, and they can learn in a better way. And keeping in view that learning theory, what we want that our children should be very active, and we should create a very conducive learning environment. And we should also assess what our children are doing. So what we have suggested that when children are doing something inside the home using available resources, and we can also ask them to do some project work. They can do some project work. When school will reopen, they can bring all these to schools and teachers can assess. Or parents also can assess informally, because now we are talking of not only assessment of learning, assessment for learning, assessment as learning, because I know CBSE schools are well-equipped schools, and we have very experienced teachers, and you all are using that. So what I mean to say that our focus should be on assessment as learning. We are doing assessment of learning at the end. We are doing assessment for learning just to provide feedback or remedial measures. But as per the new learning theory, this assessment should be an integral part of teaching learning. We should not treat assessment in isolation. We want our children should be involved in the process of assessment. And we encourage self-assessment, we encourage peer assessment, and we encourage assessment by teachers. If we can combine all three, and continuously we go on assessing. Assessment doesn't mean paper pencil test. And many non-testing techniques are there that we can use to assess our children. Parents can observe what their children are doing. They can interact with the children and they can know what their children. And when school will reopen, they can come out with all the projects and other materials so that teachers can know what they have learned. And since our focus is in learning outcomes, suppose our children are not in a position to attend these learning outcomes, then we can make a review and we can create conducive environment inside the school when school will reopen to help our children to attend these learning outcomes. And we have also suggested, if required, we can combine two classes. Suppose this period will continue for a longer time, and suppose our children, particularly children who are coming from a deprived section, they are not having the basic facility, parents are not educated. And in that case, what we can do, we can also combine the learning outcome of class 1 and class 2. And during 2 years, we can help our children to attain the learning outcome because it's the foundation. if they're weak in this learning outcome, then it will be very difficult for them to face the challenge in future. That is why we should take care of it. And we have to take care of the pedagogy, we have to take care of the assessment, and we have to take care of the technology. You see, why we are talking about this online learning, and I was also discussing someday with the CBSE principal. So I told them that now Karnataka government, I remember Karnataka government has banned this online learning up to class 7, so class 5 or class 7. But why it is so? Now we should try to understand what is the logic behind this. Because we are talking of technology. What is technology? What is the purpose of technology? Technology is a tool. Technology is not an end. Technology is a means. That we should understand. Because all the time we are using technology to help our students to learn in a better way. And if our students will use technology effectively, then definitely they can explore. Ultimately, pedagogy dominates, not technology. And in pedagogy, we have clarified our children should explore. If our children can explore, if our children will be engaged, then they will learn in a better way. So how can we help our children to explore? We can ask them, we can make them familiar with the different ICT tools, and that also we have done in this alternative academic calendar. We have mentioned different ICT tools what teachers or parents or students can use. And using these ICT tools, we can communicate in a better way. And we expect they should use these tools to explore and to get something. That is more important, because it is just we should not use this technology just to disseminate, just to transmit what is there or to transact what is there in the textbook. Technologies should be used by the students to explore something. That is why you should see in modern time what I will tell you two things, that we are talking of empty technology. Earlier, when the behavioristic pattern was there, we are talking of full technology. Why? Because in behavioristic pattern, our focus was more on product. Since it was more on product, all the time we expect correct answer from our children. And we are using technology at that time. And when we are using technology of this pedagogy, that the theory was the program spectrum, because you all are principals and teachers, I think you are familiar with learning theory. This program learning, program spectrum, based on this heuristic learning, we divide the content into small parts, units, then we give 1% to our children, and if when they have mastery about that, then we allow them to go to the next. Because our ultimate goal was that we should get correct answer from our children, and they were learning in a mechanical way, and it was product oriented. But now situation has changed. Now we are in 21st century. Our focus is not on product, focus is on process. And we want to strengthen this process. And how can we strengthen this process? And process means what? Suppose when we see the classroom, if it is a process in classroom process, we go and deliver lecture. And what our children do, they go on listening, they are passive listeners. And when they are passive listeners, they are not getting opportunity to explore, they are not getting opportunity to do something, they are not getting opportunity to share their experiences, collaborate. And they are all the time they are sitting in one place and listen. But now we want they should work together, they should work in groups. And here technology can play a very significant role, because with technology they can collaborate in a group. Now they are inside the home. And with technology, they can collaborate in any part of the world. They can collaborate with their friends. They can talk to them, those who are having the facility. I'm not talking about the children who are not having those who are having the facility. They can share, they can collaborate. So that is why from that point of view, we should take advantage of technology, and we should make technology in such a way that our children just use technology as a tool. They will not learn from technology, they will learn with technology. That is because with pedagogy, if you see the history, with pedagogy, we find there is corresponding change in use of technology. In behavioristic pedagogy, we are using technology, but our purpose was to up content mastery. But when we are talking of constructivist pedagogy, we are also using technology. We call it MD technology. You give different tools to the students, let them use in their own way, let them analyze, let them synthesize, let them draw some hypothesis, let them verify. Ultimately, they should come to the conclusion. So ultimately, they will construct their own knowledge. So our focus is more on knowledge construction. Children should construct their own knowledge in their own way, using different tools, using different techniques, and we should facilitate teachers or parents. We should facilitate our students to learn in a very effective way. That is our concern. So that from that point of view, we should make use of technology. So what I want to say that when we are suggesting this alternative calendar, we have suggested many things within this. You see the content portion is there, and that we have highlighted the learning outcome. Then pedagogy, we have suggested the pedagogy, and in pedagogy, what we want that parents should play active role, teachers should guide, but same that the environment should be very conducive. Children should get opportunity to do something, to explore. And we are also talking about technology. They should use technology as a tool. We are also talking of assessment, and we are talking of not assessment for learning, we are talking of assessment as learning. We can develop rubrics. We are familiar with the rubrics. And when we are talking of assessment, now we are not talking of assessment of different subjects. We are talking of assessment from 360-degree angle. That means 360-degree assessment. So everything should be recorded. We are talking of portfolio, e-portfolio, all the things that we are discussing. So we should orient the parents that they should take care of other things. Not only they should not ask the children to all the time to go through the content and for mastery over the content, but they should also do other things. So that will make our children happy. They will be mentally healthy and also physically sound. So they ultimately they can learn in a better way. That is why when we have suggested this guideline for this digital education and online education, and in that guideline also we have suggested different steps. For example, the Honorable Minister has released recently, and there also we find different steps. And teacher can plan, teacher can make a review, teacher can assess and arrange different resources, and accordingly provide opportunity to the students. So that we have to do, and we have also requested that the screen time should be less. Why screen time should be less? Because we should not give instruction. We should just facilitate. We can guide, and within for primary students or for secondary from class 1 to 8, we have recommended 2 periods in this guideline, the Prachanta guideline. Two sessions from 30 to 45 minutes, 2 sessions. And during these 2 sessions, we can create a very conducive learning environment. We can guide them what to do. We can give them different type of tasks, different type of assignments. Let them go, let them explore. So that they need not sit in front of the computer or laptop for a longer period, and they can do many things on their own. And by exploring on their own, they can download the material as per their convenience and learn in a better way. So that we have suggested to this guideline, and this guideline should be linked with the alternative academic calendar. This digital education guideline should be linked with the alternative calendar, alternative academic calendar. Because in alternative calendar or academic calendar, we have covered everything, all the stages, all the subjects. We have gone beyond the subject, we have gone beyond the textbook, and we have also suggested how to use different tools, how to use different techniques, and also how to assess. That is also there to some extent, and there is also provision for Divyang children. So we have taken care of everything to make it more holistic, more comprehensive, more inclusive. That is our concern, because we should not think of a particular category of learners. We should take care of all categories of learners with different ability, and everybody should be benefited out of this. That is why we have come out with this academic calendar, and keeping in view the learning outcome, and how to use technology, everything. And one more thing, I think all of you are principals of the business schools. Everything depends on the leader. we are conducting this NISTA program. I think CBSE has also made these modules available to you. And now we are coming out with this whole package, and we have already launched it for Andhra Pradesh yesterday. And we can also give it to all the CBSE school teachers. So point is, our school leader, we should lead. See, the principal, everything depends on the principal. That is why in NISTA program, what we have done for the first time, we have invited principals along with the teachers to this training program. We invite because we conducted this pilot in Tripura. After conducting this pilot, we launched this program last year because it is based on research findings. Then it was very successful, and the reason is that it was more activity based, less lecture, more activity, more participation by the teacher. That we did when we conducted this training program for key resource person, and they also followed the same approach. And ultimately, it was very popular, and all the states, most of the states, they have completed, and we have completed this program in 23. We have launched with 33 states, and 29 states we have completed this state level resource person training, and some more states are there. We will complete it very soon. My point is that what I would like to highlight, because you all are principal, that school, everything depends on school leader. And the modules what we have developed, we have taken into account the learning outcome, holistic development of the learner, and also the strategy that taking into account all subjects, because now we are talking about multiple intelligence, and all the time we are limiting ourselves to this logical mathematical. And that is why we should take care of everything. And the pedagogy, what we recommend, that there are integrated learning, even school-based assessment, that it should be integrated in such a manner that classroom process will be vibrant. When school will reopen, we can make use of that school-based assessment. Not only it will help us to assess at the end or in between, it will be integrated in such a way, it will make teaching learning more meaningful. The student themselves can know what is their strength and what is their weakness. They themselves will decide the criteria along with the teacher when developing the rubric. So all these things we expect and we can do it. And our focus is on leadership. Why I am talking this? That leader, if school heads are convinced, because we want schools to be learning organization. Every school, every institution should be learning organization. That should be fellow feeling, that should be cooperation, that should be sharing. And approach, we should follow democratic approach, less hierarchy. Then that is the new theory of management. And that if we can introduce, I think we can make our school a learning organization, everything, and we should lead. That is why we have included that leadership module in NISTA program. And when you go through and you can learn, you will get the opportunity to know about it. And the point is, we all are involved in this these different types of activities, and ultimately we want holistic development of child. Ultimately, we want all-round development or holistic development and development of the 21st century learning skills. And chairperson Mr. Ahuja also highlighted on this, because this critical thinking, problem-solving ability, if we can develop all these skills, then our children will not face any problem in their life. And we should not focus on content. Content, definitely content will be there. Some content, because content is the medium through which we can develop the competencies and skills. So that is why what we want. We should take care of everything, and we should look from a holistic point of view, and we should focus on quality. Quality means the development of competency and skills. And not only we should highlight only logical mathematical intelligence, we are talking of multiple intelligence. Child may be poor in mathematics, but the child may be rich in music, in sports, in other activities. That also we should highlight, because now in modern theory our focus is finding out the strength. We believe in strength model, not in deficit model. In deficit model, we try to find out what is the weakness of the child, what the child does not know, and what he or she cannot do. But now we feel that what our child can do, what ability he or she has, So keeping in view that we can help our child to grow or to develop all the potentiality what he or she has inherited from his parents and ancestors. So that we should do, and we should use all channels, formal, informal, non-formal, because many things we learn incidentally in the process of living. When our children at home, and they are learning many things incidentally in the process of living, and when they are talking to their parents, sharing their experiences, collaborating, they are learning many things informally or incidentally. That is why we should not feel that when children are not coming to school, they are not learning. They are learning everywhere, anywhere, and we should take care of that, and we should try to integrate all the channels, and we should try to collaborate with parents and community, with everybody. So that learning will be very meaningful, learning will be very effective, and we should take care of the pedagogy, because all the time pedagogy dominates everything. Once we understand pedagogy, we can do many things. Like that we have done through this alternative academic calendar. Just we have suggested the pedagogy, just to guide, help the parents to create opportunity for the children, learning opportunity or learning environment, so that our children can. I think I have taken more time. Now I would like to stop here, and I will be here, and we can ask any questions, and other colleagues that they can also share their experiences and anything. But ultimately, we want our children to grow, children to develop, and they should develop all their potentiality. That is our problem.
Thank you, sir. I think you have covered entire spectrum of education, starting from parents' engagement to strength model. Really, really encouraging. I think our more than 35,000 teacher and principals are viewing this program in live. I believe it's quite encouraging for all of us. Now I will request Sandeep, Dr. Sandeep, to give presentations on alternative academic calendar, the core concept of NCERT, how schools can implement in the school, that strategy. Very quickly, you can share your presentation, PPT, whatever way you want. Sandeep.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
You are sharing the slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Can someone give feedback? Is it visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, good afternoon, all. Chairman CBSE and Director NCERT have given a clear picture of alternative academic calendar. I'll summarize the salient features of alternative academic calendar in this presentation. So very first, we have a big question, why? So these are the reasons: impact of COVID, and because of this COVID, lack of face-to-face interaction in our school system. So effort to be made to continue the learning of students and provide them with multiple alternative ways of learning. In this context, alternative calendars for all stages of school education by NCERT. These are different calendars. You can see clearly left side of the screen, you can see higher secondary space, and right side secondary space. So these calendars consist of chapter or themes wise interesting activities and challenges mapped with the learning outcomes. The purpose of mapping of themes with learning outcome is to facilitate teachers and parents to assess the progress in students' learning. However, it is emphasized that the focus should be on learning rather than testing for scores. These calendar include generic guidelines and subject-specific activities, reference of learning resources along with textbooks, detailed material on the use of different technological and social media tools, as well as strategies for reducing stress and anxiety in the present time. You can see clearly subject-wise weekly calendar, it is divided into 3 columns. First column is for learning outcomes, second column is based on resources, and third column you can find week-wise activities. So these are some prominent features. Alternative academic calendars provide scope for using the reduced topics for the rationalized curriculum for experiential and project-based learning through the strategies provided in the calendar. Chapter-wise e-content available on ePathshala, NRO, ER and Diksha may be used along with these activities. Integration of art and physical education in the activities to create interest of the students. Calendar is flexible and suggestive. Please note it, calendar is flexible and suggestive. Teachers can implement these considering the context and need of the students. Designing of activities allow the students to conduct them on their own under the supervision of parents. Activities can be modified based on the availability of resources and the prior knowledge of students. Here is the general guidelines related to implementing this alternative calendar. So very first step is, before beginning with the activities, explain parents and children the reasons and merits using this calendar. Number 2, give clear and sufficient verbal and visual instructions to all the children, including children with special needs. Third, ensure activities be conducted in a friendly and supportive environment without forcing students. 4, integrate new concepts to be taught with the prior understanding of the students. 5th, opportunities be provided to students for logical reasoning and language proficiency. Appropriate worksheets can also be created aligned with these activities. Now, transactional strategies. The sole motto is to become a self-learner. Students to become self-learner. Here are few suggestions. Ask students to go through a particular portion of the chapter. Initiate a discussion related to that portion. Ask students to deliberate on that. Highlight only important points during the discussion, and rest of the work may be done by the students themselves. Intervene only when necessary. Provide the links of the available resources which can be helped in clarifying the doubts of the students. Facilitate students to understand the concept while involving them in certain activities in groups. Students may form their subgroups on WhatsApp or Telegram involving different students. Each group may be assigned different tasks and they may be asked to revert. Here an exemplar related to reading activity, and it is divided into pre-reading, while reading and post-reading. So pre-reading activities that the teacher can use are asking questions related to the theme of the story, showing pictures to generate ideas and related vocabulary, teaching new vocabulary or expressions that will appear in the story. Give some listening activities to the learner related to the theme. While reading, depending on the length of the text, divide it into parts, and while reading the text, check the comprehension of the learners for each part. For comprehension, assessment can be conducted by giving true, false, multiple choice, short answer, completion type, word attack questions, and table completion type questions. Along with question and answers, activities on all 4 skills can also be given. Post-reading. Post-reading activity can be focused on topics beyond the text. For example, grammar in context, writing activities, point for debate, writing dialogues for role play, group retelling, creating own ending, story mapping, storyboarding, reflecting. Engagement and assessment of students. Assessment need to be integrated part the teaching learning process, whether through face-to-face mode or distance mode. Learner may be motivated for self-assessment. Learners may be assigned some interesting and challenging activities through which they can do self-assessment at any stage under the guidance of teacher and parents. Assignments that can be given to the students, multiple choice questions, short and long answer type questions, activity based questions, open book questions, and learners may be motivated to solve crossword puzzles, participate in online quizzes by using Kahoot, conduct model device related to concept learned, write slogans or create any poem on concept learned, create games on the concept learned, prepare a spider or hierarchical type of concept map of the lesson learned, prepare a list of 21st century skills or values learned from the lesson, prepare 2 understanding, application and higher order questions from lesson learned. So these were the salient feature of alternative academic calendar, already highlighted by the director NCERT in detail. Now the house is open for queries.
Before opening the queries, I think let us take a quick comment about the rationalization of syllabus. And of course, you have highlighted very nicely that alternative calendar, what schools are supposed to do during this period of time. In fact, from our academic wing, the different activities, starting from science exhibitions to heritage quiz, and all those activities, including the sports activities, it should be part of our academic calendar. And we cannot see it separately as an extracurricular activities. I think then meaningfully we can implement each and everything, even this pandemic situation. So now a quick comment on the rationalization of syllabus we take from one of our principals, Dr. Amita Muttal. She is principal of Pringle School. So Amita ji, if you are online, you can quickly come and give your comment on rationalization of syllabus.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Right. Firstly, sir, I'd like to congratulate our chairperson, Shri Ahuja ji, and our director of the NCERT, yourself, Dr. Saha, Dr. Anurag Tripathi, and Dr. Emmanuel, for the most remarkable work that has been done as a partnership between the alternative calendar and how the CBSE has sort of panned out as a completely child-centric board. And I think that is why the rationalization has come together in an extremely scientific and a very structured manner. And the greatest thing is that the academic calendar dovetails into even those topics that have been deleted by the CBSE, which means that it's not as though that we are going to be assessing what is coming out as subjects in the academic calendar. Some principals are thinking, but it is merely going to scaffold in many ways what the CBSE has deleted. Because I think the CBSE has looked with great depth at making it a competency-based learning, at making it an outcome-based learning, and also looking at assessments in very wonderful ways. I would like to make some quick points, which is that as far as the deletion is concerned, the finest thing is that in the NCERT books, the way that a particular topic has been taught or has been written has been thematically set out across the entire book. So in a certain sense, nothing has been deleted. Because if you look at the deletion process, even if you look at something called democracy and diversity, in class 10, for example, that particular lesson, many of the deleted lessons were part of the periodic assessments that came out last year. And in any case, they were not even assessed in the board examinations. And the way that they are being looked at in the alternative calendar So if a principal has given, if a school has given out some kind of project on that, the CBSE in its circular has said that it accepts it. So that has given a great deal of relief to the way that we are working, because in a sense, we do not find in any ways that the deletion of the topics has affected the teaching learning quality in a classroom. And I think, and in a virtual classroom. So I think whether it is so essential for us that whatever we teach, if we feel the necessity to scaffold the teaching, whether it is in grade 12 when we're talking about security or environment, or we're talking about governance, at every level, the themes run across all the chapters that we find. And I think this is a great opportunity that the CBSE has given us for doing something that it's always wanted, where we can look at learning in so many different ways, look at assessment in 360-degree manners, look at breakout rooms that was just spoken about by Dr. Senapati, and how we can look at the idea of having peer learning, which has been a very integral part of the CBSE, the syllabus and curriculum. So whether it is teacher being the sort of guide on the side, with children doing the research, children doing the projects, taking the support of the alternative calendar, at every angle, I think that we have been able to look at this. The only humble submission that I have now as a principal is that I think we should look at assessment and how we can look at the rubrics of assessment, because across the country, people may find it a little problematic to do these assessments. So I think you've already thought about it, that you're going to be doing a lot of teacher training, especially in the area of deconstructing the academic calendar and deconstructing the way that we can make learning so much happier. So I think all the way from class 1 right up to class 12, the way that learning has been structured is something that has brought a great relief. And what I would like to comment is, and when somebody was asking me the other day, I would like to comment, it's not as though this 30% is suddenly going to go out of our lives. And nobody is going to create a new content in the next 6 months and bring it in a different manner. I think what we have to really know is that these topics have been studied by children, and also that these topics have been integrated in other topics. And the most interesting thing is that if you're looking at political science, you're really looking at interdisciplinary work, because the same topic is being taught in economics in a different manner, the same topic is being looked at across in history. So in many ways, the social sciences have really moved very beautifully through this calendar, through the way that we're looking at teaching learning exercises. And I don't think that in any way, any kind of knowledge will suffer when we teach. So my plea is that all teachers must really look at the way the CBSE has helped us in making learning so child-friendly, so fruitful, so research-oriented, so portfolio-driven, so sort of, what shall I say, project-driven. And that's exactly what we have been striving for several years. So that's all. With that, I end my case. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ji. With this, let us open the house for question and answer. So all my colleagues, directors are here, including Secretary CBSE, of course, Chairman Sir, Senapati Sir, who is also amongst us. So we'll take up some questions from different parts of the country based on the request what we have received. Of course, we are also scanning the online comments also. And very quickly, so first of all, let me go to Dr. Ram Singh, Principal, Delhi Public School, Karachi. He has some questions. So if Ram Singh ji is live now, please, you can ask your question. So next, Mrs. P. Vijayalakshmi.
Yes, I'm here. I'm
So
Mr. Lakshmi here. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Good afternoon to everybody. And I must really thank Chairman CBSE and Director NCRT and the entire team for coming forward to conduct this orientation session for the principals and teachers, because this is something which we've been looking forward to. And I know the mammoth task that CBSE and NCRT was involved in rationalizing the syllabus. It would be nice if you could just explain to us what was the process that was adopted in rationalizing the syllabus? Because I know it has been done for not just one or two subjects, 190 odd subjects. So beautifully, so scientifically, it has been done. If you could explain the process, we will be able to adopt it to the other classes also. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. With the similar questions, we have also received it through online mode. Just I got the printout. So they are both. What is the purpose of rationalization of curriculum? And of course, what Vijay Lakshmi has asked. I will request Director Academic, Dr. Joseph Emmanuel, kindly to respond.
Thank you, Dr. Saha. The purpose of rationalization, which is already notified by the CBSE, and you are also passing through a very difficult situation, that is COVID pandemic has completely changed our lives. And almost all the schools have stopped face-to-face curriculum transaction. And now every school is doing digital connectivity with the students, and they are teaching students through digital mode. There are some schools, they are connected to students through TV, radio, and some schools in the remote rural areas, they are supplying printed materials to students. And there are schools and teachers, they are connecting to the students through telephone. So different modes are being used by the teachers and schools to reach out to the students. And as a result, teaching learning is not uniform all across the CBSE schools and all across the country. So this is the backdrop of coming out with the rationalized curriculum for the academic session 2021. Because of the loss of face-to-face curriculum transaction in the classroom, we had to look for other alternative ways of connecting with the children to maintain their learning level and to avoid the learning gap. So NCRT, being the premier education body in the country, has recently come out with alternative academic calendar. Through the alternative academic calendar, how to teach concepts to the children by various application-based pedagogical practices. That has been brought out by NCRT. They have already come out with a 4-week alternative academic calendar. And an extension of this 4-week academic calendar, NCRT is immediately coming out with another 8-week academic calendar. So in this process, with CBSE being the assessment body, a premier assessment body in the country, which is conducting class 10 and class 12 examination, we have received a lot of feedback from the affiliated schools that there is huge pressure on our children. Our children are really tired of learning too much topics and lessons in the class, and classroom transaction in a way is very, very minimal. And whichever school is able to connect with the students through digital platforms, there is no formal assessment has been taking place how effective this transaction. So in a way, this feedback forced us to think about reducing the curriculum load of children for the 2021 examination. And as a result, CBSE's course committee, CBSE has a structure. Vijay Lakshmi has currently asked a question of what is the process followed for rationalizing the curriculum syllabus. CBSE has a course committee for every subject. There are 73 subjects at the class 10 level and 117 subjects at class 12 level. And for every subject, there is a course committee. And every course committee of the subject sat together. And the course committee comprising of one senior faculty from the higher education level, and there are subject experts from NCRT, State Education Department, and CBSE affiliated school teachers are also part of this course committee. These committees were immediately sat together and assessed what are the topics we can set aside or rationalize for the examination 2021 to mitigate the effect of COVID pandemic and the loss of face-to-face classroom transactions.
So every committee sat together, they studied the topic and they identified various topics. So the general principle followed by each committee is the topics which are already studied by the students at lower classes. The topics which have less impact on the conceptual understanding of the book. Topics which are going to learn in detail in the next class. Topics which are already learned and application of those concepts are being tested in the classroom. And topics which are covered through integrated approach of teaching learning already followed in the pedagogical practices in the affiliated school. All these aspects were physically examined, studied, deliberated and discussed by every board committee and they have suggested a recommendation. That recommendation is only for excluding certain topics for assessment. And these topics are also very much part of the curriculum and the pedagogical practices. These topics are to be explained to the students to the extent possible and to the extent it is required to connect various topics and lessons in the classroom. So, a rigorous exercise has been undertaken and the topics identified are identified after detailed discussions and deliberations. And these topics have been set aside for assessment and these are all part of internal assessment as well as pedagogical practices and very much part of the syllabus of 2021 examination. The 21 examination nationalization had happened only to the extent of reducing the load on children for the board level examination. For the curriculum transaction part, every topic is still intact and every topic to be explained to the children to the extent that is required to connect various topics and develop conceptual clarity on various aspects. I think that gives a clear clarity on the process adopted by the CBSE and the rationale behind the rationalization of the curriculum.
Thank you, Mr. Ji. Now I request Dr. Rajiv Ranjan Sinha, Principal Valdian Academy, Patna, to raise his question. Rajiv Ranjan Sinha. Or else Dr. Anupam Chakra from DPS Haridwar. Father Meso.
Thank
Dr. Chakra.
Thank you, sir. We have gone through this alternative academic calendar, and it's really something to learn for all of us. We are following it very nicely in our school, and we were already developing similar calendar in our school, and I believe that the combination of the two is really going to be helpful for all of us.
Okay. Thank you. Do you have any questions? Yes,
Sir, we have fully developed for each class the alternate, the learning outcome calendar, the way it is developed, and I may share, and if possible, it may be really helpful.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So, Father Meso from St. Charles Schools, LFP. Sanjit Dawa, you want to ask some question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please.
Sir, Jule, sir, and very good afternoon. I'm Stanzin Dawa from Ladakh, but right now I'm in Shalimar Bagh. At the outset, let me appreciate CBSE and NCERT for the terrific job which you are doing to ensure the effectiveness and relevance of our school system even in the lockdown period. We are doing our best, and this lockdown period was a great opportunity for all the schools to learn new things. Now, sir, with lockdown, there's a scale up of digital technology in the education system. Now, where do you see our school system in next 5 years in terms of digital technology, and how CBSE and NCERT is preparing that each and every school in India is digitally competent? So this is a brief question, sir. Thank you so much.
So, I would like to request the Director IT, Dr. Johari, who is actually brain behind our IT development system and silently doing a lot of things. So maybe as a part of the policy matter, how he is visualizing this IT readiness and clearing the digital divides and all. So please, Dr. Johari, if you like. Please unmute yourself.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
I'd like to congratulate Chairman Sir, Director NCERT, and our academic and training unit for coming out this beautiful orientation program. And there's a new paradigm what we are seeing today in form of alternate academic calendar. And on a lighter side, I'm really thinking to restart my schooling, because the way now things are changing and the things which were in our times, I think a lot of now child-centric things are happening. See, as regards you asked for the preparedness on the digital education, MHRD has issued very detailed guidelines, okay, in form of a booklet, where it gives the guidelines for the heads of the institutions, teachers, parents, students, taking care of their mental health as well, and also cyber safety security measures. So I'll request all of you to go through that MHRD guidelines, which is given on the MHRD website. We would also like to send these guidelines to our eSandesh portal to all schools to just make you things handy, so you can just go through them. But one thing I would like to suggest, that in addition to the guidelines issued by MHRD, you should also take care of your state's guidelines. If a state has issued some guideline, that also you should take cognizance of. Now, besides this, one thing I'll say, that as you rightly said, that COVID has given us challenge, and we Indians know how to convert challenge into opportunity, and this is the opportunity to fill up the digital divide and to bring all the children on the digital platform. Yes, still you'll find there are some children who are not having the access to digital devices. For them to ensure that there is no further learning divide. So please, there is another guideline given in the MHRD guidelines to take care of such children who are not having access to digital devices. Now, as you said,
where we'll be in the next 5 years. See, CBSE is making all possible arrangement you have seen in the past few years, the kind of digitization we have done in the examination, in the academic, in the training, in the dissemination result. You have seen we have developed academic repository of our students, digital certificates and all. So with that, I think in the next 5 years, you'll find that this country and particularly your own board CBSE will be on the leading front and will be the organization where we can say we are totally digital CBSE. And let me tell you, with the help and support of all of you, because you are the one who make use of the initiatives which we develop. With the help of all of you, we are taking a lot of other initiatives. And today, all kind of the activities of CBSE have been made paperless. Okay, and today you can proudly say that you are really in digital. Your board is a digital CBSE. So that is the thing. But as far as the students are concerned, and particularly in the area where you are talking of Ladakh, and I'm also a little worried about the other northeast part, other than the Ladakh and all. So we should ensure that all the children have access in one way or other to this academic alternate academic calendar. And I think the guidelines which I am telling you is already available on MHRD website. Kindly go through that. And we will be very soon sharing the manual which we have prepared for all the activities which have been decided in CBSE, and that manual will also be available to all these schools. Okay.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Devadi.
Thank
So, 2 points I say. 2 points regarding. Okay, please. So, thank you, Dr. Chaudhary, for sharing the information about the digital promotion in CBSE. In addition to what Dr. Chaudhary has stated, 2 important other aspects which academically the CBSE has initiated, I just wanted to quickly ask. One is for promoting digital literacy, an administrative intervention has been done, and as per the provisions made in the application bylaws, there is a requirement of computer student ratio of 1:20. For every 20 students, there has to be a computer and there has to be an internet connectivity. That provision has already made in the affiliation bylaws of CBSE to promote digital literacy among the students. Secondly, CBSE has already introduced so many computer-related courses: information technology, computer science, artificial intelligence. These are all introduced by the board for promoting digital literacy. Maybe in the coming 5 years, not even we don't need to wait for 5 years. Even in 1 to 2 years, all our students will become digitally literate.
Thank you. So some quick questions we have received through WhatsApp. And through that group. what will be the effect of rationalization of future learning of students. Some topics are reduced from class 11th standard and are connected to present class 12 syllabus. How will the students learn this topic? And one connected question, some of us have already completed the project work in certain subjects, which are based on rationalization. Rationalized portion. Will this be considered for assessment? So I request Secretary CBSE, Sri Anurag Tripathi to please respond.
Thank you, Mr. Saha. I think you all have already received the answer of this question. But I can repeat it. With reduced syllabus, either covered in earlier classes or all it will be covered through alternative calendar. So it's the duty of teachers and principals that entire topic, whole concept should be covered through alternative academic calendar. Thank you.
So maybe 2-3 quick questions we will take, and thereafter we will wind up because Chairman Sir and Dr. Senapati Sir are supposed to join another meeting. So in between, let me just cross-check. Dr. Sudita from Maheshwari Girls Public School, Jaipur, if she is there, you can raise your question.
Namaskar, sir. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity so that I can interact with the luminaries. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So it's an honor to interact with our Honorable Chairperson and Director NCRT, Mr. Senapati, and my pleasure to interact with Secretary Anurag Tripathi, sir. And Saha sir as well as Emmanuel sir. Sir, my question is the portion which we have deleted. Is it possible that we can conduct internal assessment out of those? Will the internal assessment be conducted through out of those deleted portion? So that was my question.
Fine. I will request Controller of Examination, who is actually our main person behind the show. Of suspense and duel, I think he will be the appropriate person to answer this question. Of course, with these new questions, one connected question is also there. Just let me read out. How will he conduct practical work and complete it if remain closed? And will the board examination be held in March or April? So I request Dr. Swayam Bhardwaj, Controller of Examination, CBSE,
Sir.
to respond to this question.
Sir, may I one more request? Like we would like to like some Dr. Saim Bharadwaj to address that how it is possible to conduct all those assessments, the term assessment in case if this condition continues. That is also a question, sir.
Fine, fine. I think he will definitely respond.
Right. Thank you so much.
So good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to be over here with you all, and today I am happy to see all smiling faces because the kind of confidence which you are having to fight with this problem of corona and delivering the best of the education in the country, I would say in the world, I am very much satisfied. So, what ma'am you had asked the last question, for this I feel that I will be coming back to you people 10-15 days for similar kind of meeting on the examination. But right now I'll just let you know, as far as the internal assessment based on the reduced syllabus is concerned, you must understand one thing is very clear from our side. The topics which have been reduced, it is not that they have been thrown out from the syllabus. Okay, you can conduct the internal assessment based on these topics. You can hold the quizzes, hold any other kind of assessment based on these topics which have been removed. If you are finding the time, you can do certainly with all these topics. The another point was pertaining to the practical examination. Certainly, practical examination can only be conducted with the help of the equipment when you are having the equipment with you. But in my opinion, not today or tomorrow, but after some time, I feel that, and I am confident that we will be joining the schools, and all the students will also going to the schools, and there they would be able to do the practicals. Even today, if government permits, by maintaining the social distancing, they can come. But one very important issue is that a lot of online platforms are also available for the conduct of practical examination. Such platform could be used by the schools to conduct the practical examination. That would be a very, very good, I feel. Amrita, other people, they have developed very good